So, you think that you need a new camera. Well, you probably don't. When you got started with online video production or online filmmaking, you probably bought a fairly decent consumer camera. Maybe you spent somewhere between $500 to $1,000 to buy a DSLR. And you were pretty happy at first with the quality of the footage, but over time, as you compared your footage to other filmmakers, you started to feel dissatisfied and think that you needed to buy a new camera, which is where you are today. Well, instead of buying a new camera, what you should probably do is either buy a really great lens or some lighting. In this video, I'm going to show you how good lighting, not even great lighting, just good lighting, can drastically affect the quality of your image. I'm Colette Nickel, the founder of Story Envelope Media, and you are watching The Micro Filmmaker. So I was having a midnight snack the other day, almond butter and apples, classic midnight snack, and I decided to shoot some footage of the almond butter. So I'm mixing the almond butter and filming it. Anyway, the point is, I filmed the almond butter and looked at the image and thought, this is actually kind of flat, which makes sense because I'm shooting with no lighting except for an overhead light, and I have to crank my ISO up to 1600 to get a visible image, so it's probably not going to look great. But I have studio lights literally just a meter away from the kitchen, so why don't I turn one of those lights on and see if the image looks better, which obviously it did. So all I want to show you in this video is literally the difference between a clip with no lighting, except for an overhead light, which does not count as lighting. Trust me, it does not. And then a clip with studio lighting of a relatively decent quality. I didn't even put effort into placing the light in some spectacular way because honestly it was midnight and I was half asleep and I was just doing a random experiment. So I just stuck the light on the counter and you'll see in this comparison. So first, let's look at the two clips without the studio lights. And then we're gonna look at the clips with the studio lights added and see the difference. So what is the difference between the clip without lighting and the clip with lighting? Well, when you have lots of light, first of all, you don't have to crank your ISO, which means you're not introducing digital noise. You're able to have a nice, clear image. And second of all, you have brighter, more colorful, saturated images that look crisper and cleaner. When you don't have enough light, your images are not going to be super saturated, colorful, bright, and they're not going to look nice and clean and crisp. So sometimes you can think that you have a really shitty lens and your lens might actually be okay, but if you're shooting inside all the time without enough light, it actually makes your lens look bad. That's really all I wanted to show you. Sometimes all you need is to just see with your own eyes how much of a difference lights can make. From having no lighting at all to having just a single studio light, you can have an amazing quality difference. So instead of going out and buying a new camera, which is probably only going to increase your quality by say 30%, maybe 40% if you're really splurging on something that's quite a bit better than what you have, why don't you think about buying some lights? Because with lighting, you open up a whole world of possibilities in terms of what you can do with your images and where you can shoot. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you find it helpful, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to keep learning about micro filmmaking, online filmmaking, then head over to my website, storyenvelope.com, and take my free mini course where I walk you through 7 pro tips that will take your videos from okay to amazing without having to spend thousands of dollars on fancy gear. That's all for now. I'll see you soon.